What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a WWE wrestler says the coronavirus is fake, a WWE champion is not being buried by Vince McMahon, Mustafa Ali might not be the Smackdown hacker, The Undertaker's original opponent at Super Showdown was not Goldberg, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Let's hit the intro and get into the news. Now our first story looks at a WWE wrestler saying the coronavirus is fake. Now the coronavirus has been one of the biggest pandemics in recent history and has sadly claimed the lives of over 435,000 people worldwide. However, despite those incredible figures and worldwide coverage of the virus, one WWE wrestler believes the whole thing to be a big work. Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported that he reached out to a number of WWE superstars after news broke of a wrestler testing positive in the Performance Center. Wrestlers who have been present in the center since 9th June have expressed worry backstage, as it's been revealed that the talent's family and friends have accompanied them to the center to act as the audience. Now their safety is at risk too, as well as the wrestlers involved. However, one superstar who remains anonymous believes the whole coronavirus pandemic is, in his words, a big work, meaning it's not real for those who are unfamiliar with the term. Now I'm not sure I agree with that statement that this pandemic is a whole work, as many have lost loved ones, and to say it's work is a big slap in the face to those who have lost. But he's not the only one who believes this pandemic isn't real, as some believe that this is a big power play by the Chinese, and or that 5G is causing this. But regardless of that wrestler's opinion, more details have come to light that the wrestler who has contracted the virus is an active NXT wrestler. Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer reported, "A performer tested positive for COVID-19. As far as I know, it was someone who has been wrestling. This was a week ago. Everyone else heard about it when you and I did on social media." Tapings have been resumed in the meantime, but WWE officials have stated that wrestlers who have not yet received their test results back negative will not be allowed into the center. PW Insider reported, "No one will be allowed entrance to the venue unless their COVID-19 tests have come back negative. There are a number of talents, staffers, and even high-level executives who are on standby waiting for their results to still come in, we're told." It's good to know that WWE is at least taking some measures. As of this moment, there have been 0 positive tests, however there are still a number of results that people are waiting for. Unfortunately, this means that WWE have had to put their tapings on hold, and they're quite behind at this moment. PW Insider has also reported that WWE has decided to cancel today's planned taping of Smackdown. Now, they will have to come back on the day of the show next Friday. That's assuming that everything is okay and that there are no more positive results. Now we do know of one superstar who has tested negative, and that is MVP, as he took a video of his testing and captioned it with "Your man is negative." Next up, a WWE champion is not being buried by Vince. Now that Paul Heyman is no longer executive director of Raw, there have been presumably a lot of changes that have been made to the Red brand, including various pushes. As we all know, Vince relies heavily on older talent to try and boost ratings, hence why we got a random return of the Big Show on this week's edition of Monday Night Raw. Now the problem with this is that the older talent being brought in will be at the expense of younger talent that Heyman was trying to push on the Red brand. One push that might have been in jeopardy was WWE Raw Women's Champion Asuka. However, a recent report from WrestleTalk suggests that Vince is still high on the Empress of Tomorrow and still sees her as a top star. The finish at Backlash involving a double countout was aimed to protect Nia Jax and not make Asuka look weak, as many thought was the case. Next up, Ali is not the Smackdown hacker? Now it's widely been considered that since Mustafa Ali has been off television for some time, he could be the man behind SmackDown's hacker, revealing the truth about a number of WWE superstars. However, this might not be the case, as Ali has been quietly moved to the Red brand. This has been reported by PW Insider, although when you go onto WWE superstar profiles, Ali is still seen as a SmackDown superstar. Perhaps this change might actually see him on television. Next up, was Wade Barrett going to return at WrestleMania 36? One of the proposed storylines for WrestleMania 36 was a reunion of the Nexus. Not too long ago, Darren Young discussed how the WWE was going to bring in the Nexus at this year's Showcase of the Immortals, but like many plans, the current health crisis spoiled them. Recently, Stu Bennett, who worked in the WWE as Wade Barrett, the leader of the Nexus, appeared on Wrestling Inc.'s podcast to discuss the WWE contacting him about Mania. I was called in January or February by the talent relations team in WWE about something they wanted to do during WrestleMania to coincide with the 10th anniversary of the Nexus. I actually turned it down as I didn't like the offer or the plan. I saw Darren after that and said he was going to go and do something with them, but I wasn't going to be involved in whatever it was. And he explained his reasons for declining the offer. In all honesty, if it had been something more significant, I would have paid it more attention. But it was something to me that I wasn't interested in doing. There was no benefit at all for me in doing it, and I wasn't excited about it, so I turned the offer down. Speculating on the matter, it's likely the WWE would have had the Nexus show up only to get beat up by a group of NXT stars or WWE superstars, possibly during John Cena's fever dream. Based on what we've heard, it doesn't appear that the Nexus's return would have had any long-term ramifications. But whilst we're on the subject of the Nexus, Arn Anderson analyzes what went wrong with the stable. Arn Anderson's experience as a wrestler in WCW and a producer in the WWE makes for interesting conversations on his The Arn Show podcast. Recently, Arn analysed the WWE's Nexus storyline, exploring what went wrong and where things should have gone. They should have been able to slaughter anybody at any time. You're talking about an invasion. That's enough guys to have an invasion. When you immediately put them with Cena, you're going to have to give something back to Cena before too long, because that's the way of the world. They should have gone somewhere besides Cena first. As fans know, the problem is that the Nexus were put into a program with Cena fairly early on, and things couldn't go anywhere but down when Cena refused to put them over. Anderson explained, "When you see that you have something, let's sit down and see what we have for these guys and think our way through this and see how much mileage we can get out of these guys." If they would have got red hot, they could have attacked heels and baby faces. That's a what if. I personally thought it was a great gimmick that got cut off too quickly. The Nexus remains one of the biggest disappointments in WWE history, as well as the storyline that has led to much speculation by the WWE Universe as to how it could have played out if handled more effectively. Next up, The Undertaker's original opponent at Super Showdown, and it wasn't Goldberg. I'm sure you're well aware of our opinion on the Undertaker vs Goldberg match at Super Showdown 2019. Yeah, safe to say it was a disaster. Should it have happened? Well, yeah, it was still a dream match to some, even though it was several years too late. However, this match almost didn't happen at all, as the original plans involved Elias versus The Undertaker, and it kinda makes sense since Elias had a confrontation with Taker leading up to the pay-per-view. Elias confirmed on his Instagram account, Elias v Undertaker was set to happen in Saudi shortly after this segment. Everything about this night was electric. Things changed. Myself and the dead man have crossed paths multiple times since I've been here, and I hope it's not the last. There is a great story to be told both on screen and behind the curtain. He's one of the greatest ever to do it. Check out Undertaker The Last Ride on WWE Network to learn more about the man behind The Undertaker. Now in hindsight, this would have almost been a better match, but it is what it is. And finally, Ryback explains how to boost WWE's ratings. Lastly, Wrestlelamia looks at the latest wit and wisdom from disgruntled ex-WWE superstar Ryback. Speaking on his conversation with the Big Guy Ryback show, he explained what the WWE needs to do to improve its ratings. You have to let guys go out there and start shooting on each other. That's what made Rock and Austin, even if they were scripted to a degree. People want to see who is going to get the better of each other. People want to see the real moments. Nobody cares about watching two people go out there and read lines that 130-pound guys wrote in the back. It's not working. With no crowd there, it's even worse. It is exposing the business. If you don't trust someone, they shouldn't be on national television. Why are you at the highest level of this industry? Ryback explained that Vince McMahon has lost his desire to win. He is tapped out. He's not hungry anymore from a creative aspect of things. He has too much money. He's too big for his own good. He's being pulled in too many directions. From a financial standpoint of creating revenue, that's what he cares about. That is all he's looking at. He's no longer interested in the details of creating compelling long-term storylines and megastars. He needs to sell the company. Ryback's opinions are nothing fans haven't been hearing for at least the last decade. Some fans look back to the early 2000s when Vince McMahon began surrounding himself with a so-called creative department that is anything but creative. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.